For now, it is safe to say that Texas Tech is a basketball school. Since 2010, the Red Raiders have gone through 3 coaches, posted just 5 winning seasons, and have not had more than 8 wins since 2009. Matt Wells went just 13-17 in less than 3 years in Lubbock, and now Texas Tech is taking a pretty big risk, hoping that Joey McGuire will be the man to turn this program around. So welcome back to the Gridiron Expert, guys. Ready to break down Texas Tech's hire of Joey McGuire. Pretty interesting hire. We have a lot to say about it, so gear up. Let's get ready for it. But before we do that, please continue to like, comment, subscribe, and share our videos. Guys, if you've enjoyed this coaching series, if you're ready for more coaching videos, if you're ready for just the off-season content that we have over these next few months, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share the videos, hit that notification button so you don't miss anything. Those things that take you just a few seconds help us out tremendously and help our channel grow so that we can bring you non-stop college football content year-round. So please help us out by doing that. Again, a simple hit of that like button, a simple comment, a simple subscribe button. We'd love to welcome you to our Gridiron Expert team so you don't miss out on any of the content going forward. So let's take a look at this hire down in Lubbock, guys, down in the Big 12. The first question you got to ask yourself is, who is Joey McGuire? You know, a lot of these coaches we've talked about, you know, for the typical average fan, these names probably don't stand out to you. And for many, Joey McGuire probably doesn't. Joey McGuire is a 50-year-old coach who has been in the college ranks for a total of 4 years. He's been at the college level for a total of 4 years, serving as the tight ends coach for Baylor in 2017, and these last few years serving as associate head coach, along with a bunch of other different positions, such as outside linebackers, defensive ends, etc. So he has been at the college ranks in Baylor, but not even as a coordinator, not even as a head coach. And that's relatively shocking that Texas Tech would take that leap of faith and bring someone in like that to become the head man of a Power 5 program in the Big 12 in the state of Texas. But McGuire, we can't say too much about that. Only 4 years in the college ranks. He made his name known through the high school ranks. He primarily coached high school, serving as the head coach for Cedar Hill High in Texas. Served there from 2003 to 2016. Took over that Cedar Hill program that had never won a playoff game. And McGuire went 141-42 with 3 state titles. So completely transformed that program, and we know how, first off, how hard it is to win high school football games in Texas, but how important high school football is in Texas as well. McGuire went out there and showed that he could do it for 13 years before taking that next step up to join the Baylor coaching staff, first under Matt Rhule, and then Dave Aranda actually kept him on once he arrived in Waco. But still, guys, for me, this is a very interesting move. This is still a pretty quick rise to power for Joey McGuire. Coached at the high school level for 13 years, all the way to 2016, so just 6 years ago, he was still coaching high school. And now he's the head coach of a Power 5 program. And so what's the outlook looking like? You know, what does 2022 have in store for Texas Tech and Joey McGuire in year 1? Well, the first thing is he landed the 43rd ranked recruiting class this last year. The 2022 ranked the 43rd class in the country. That was 7th in the Big 12, 7th out of 10. So, you know, one thing I think Texas Tech kept in mind when they hired McGuire was his ability to recruit. And that's how you build a program, is through recruiting. And obviously, Texas is the hot spot. You need to be able to recruit Texas well. A lot of competition there, but I think McGuire's relationships with the high schools in Texas, obviously how well he did at the high school level in Texas, will allow him to recruit very well there. So 43rd now, but already for next year in 2023, Texas Tech currently holds the number 2 class in the country. And obviously that will change by the time of next February, or maybe even December for that 23 class. But as of right now, Texas Tech holds the number 2 class in the entire country. And I think that's what the Red Raiders are looking for. They're looking for a guy that can recruit and start to build. And McGuire, I believe, can be that guy. I believe he's going to do very well on the recruiting trail. When you look at his staff, I thought he did a phenomenal job putting this staff together. First off, he brings in Zach Kittley as his offensive coordinator from Western Kentucky. Fantastic hire. Kittley was not only the offensive coordinator at Western Kentucky last year, but was the offensive coordinator at Houston Baptist a few years prior to that. So another Texas tie that will allow very well recruiting. But also, if you look at the numbers from Western Kentucky, Zach Kittley was responsible for one of the most historic individual seasons in college football history. He coached Western Kentucky quarterback Bailey Zappi, who transferred from Houston Baptist with him, coached him up to throw for over 5,900 yards, 5,967 yards, and 62 touchdowns. The Hilltoppers averaged 44.2 points per game. One of the best offenses in the country last year, one of the best quarterbacks in the country last year, setting records left and right. Kittley responsible for that. He also brings in Tim DeRuyter from Oregon as his defensive coordinator. And to me, that's another fantastic hire. You've got a guy in DeRuyter who has coached at the Group of 5 level before, was a head coach at Fresno State from 2012 to 2016, was the California defensive coordinator from 2017 to 2020, most recently, again, the Oregon defensive coordinator in 2021. So you're bringing in a guy who has head coaching experience. You're bringing in a guy who has coached at the Power 5 level before at a coordinator spot at California and Oregon. Helps you recruit out west as well, spending most of his time out there. I think that's a fantastic hire, and DeRuyter not a bad defensive mind at all, even though Oregon's defense was relatively subpar in 2021. So, coordinator-wise, fantastic hire. He's got a guy that he can bounce ideas off of that's been in this situation before in DeRuyter. He's got a guy who can recruit well and knows how to coach up an offense in Zach Kittley, and we might start to see this Texas Tech offense return to form, not necessarily back to the Mike Leach days just yet, but they could get there if they run that style of offense, and Kittley certainly wants to do that. When you look at the talent they have, question is who starts at quarterback? Will it be Tyler Shough or will it be Donovan Smith? Both saw significant playing time last year. Shough getting injured relatively early in the year, but in less than four total games, threw for 872 yards and 6 touchdowns. And my gut would say that in terms of Kittley's offense, he's probably going to go with Shough, who is more of a pocket passer compared to Donovan Smith, who can, yes, air it out, but is more of a runner, more of a bruiser. And we saw how well he did down the stretch last year. But I think Shough would probably be still the man if he can stay healthy. The defense ultimately is what needs the most help. DeRuyter is going to have his hands full. Texas Tech has a defense that's allowed over 30 points per game each of the last 3 years under Matt Wells. And actually, the Red Raiders have not allowed under 30 points per game since 2009. So defense has been a struggle for over a decade now down in Lubbock, and they're going to have a long rebuild in terms of fixing that. Although it should be mentioned that in this year's recruiting class, the top 4 players are all on the defensive side of the ball. So that could be a huge boost. Maybe not for 2022, but certainly for 23 and 24 as Joey McGuire tries to build this program. Take a look at their schedule. Texas Tech's got their hands full, certainly. Joey McGuire, look, I mean, anytime you're coaching in a Power 5 conference, it's not going to be easy. And starting in week 2, things get extremely tough. Very difficult little stretch there. Houston, at NC State, a team that potentially could be a top 10 team to start the year. Houston, a team that was one of the best Group of 5 teams in the country last year. They played Texas after the NC State game, and then at Kansas State and at Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State winning the Fiesta Bowl last year and narrowly losing the Big 12 championship, almost winning that Big 12 championship game against Baylor. So those first 6 games, guys, really that 5-game stretch, but the first 6 games are extremely tough, and Texas Tech needs to try to find themselves at 3-3 at the least going into their back 6. 3-3 is probably what they need to do, split that. Maybe win the Houston game, maybe win a Kansas State game on the road, and then would they be able to spring an upset over Texas, NC State, or Oklahoma State? That remains to be seen, but they need to win about 3 of those first 6 games if they're trying to go bowling in year 1 under Joey McGuire, because the last 6 sees 4 of the final 6 games coming to Lubbock. 4 of the last 6 games are at home for Texas Tech, although 2 of them are against Baylor, the reigning Big 12 champions, and Oklahoma, who many believe will be back in the Big 12 championship game in 2022. So you've got to start strong, got to have at least a 3-3 record, I feel like, in those first 6. I feel like Texas Tech can find a way to maneuver 3, maybe 4 wins in those final 6 games, but overall the schedule's very tough, even though the back half is more favorable, I believe, than the first. So those first few games will really dictate the kind of the trend and the direction this Joey McGuire team is going to go, at least in year 1. You know, is Texas Tech a Big 12 title contender? Probably not. Are they a bowl contender? Possibly. Nothing's fancy, but they could get up to 6 wins, possibly, depending on how well they start and how well the pieces start to come together so early on. So what are we going to give this hire, guys? What do we give Joey McGuire's hire down in Lubbock, down at Texas Tech? Again, a program that has really struggled ever since they let go of Mike Leach. Ever since they parted ways, the Red Raiders have struggled, have not been able to succeed at any level compared to what Mike Leach had them at. No double-digit win season since, what, 2009, 2008? They've got a long ways to go to get back to that point. And guys, I'm going to tell you, I don't believe Joey McGuire is the guy to get Texas Tech back to that point. I'm giving this hire a D. This is a D hire for me. This is the lowest grade we've given so far in our coaching series. To me, I'm not a fan of this hire at all. I think McGuire will be a solid recruiter. I think he will do relatively well there bringing talent into Texas Tech, but can he coach them up? We know high school football is significantly different than college football, especially at a program like Texas Tech in the Power 5 conference in the Big 12, playing teams like Oklahoma State, Oklahoma, Baylor, Texas, and he's having to recruit against all of those teams as well. This is the guy that has never even been a coordinator, never been an offensive coordinator, never been a defensive coordinator at the college level. And like we mentioned, just 6 years ago, it's not that long ago, he was still coaching high school football. So he may recruit well. But to me, guys, that's not why you're going to hire a head coach. Yes, you want a guy to come in here and be able to bring in the players, but then you need a coach to build them up, coach them, and win the games. I'm not sure Joey McGuire can do that. He's smart-minded. He's a football mind. He's very well, succeeded well at the high school level. I just don't think he's going to succeed at the college level. So I think he has the team right now, honestly, to do well in year 1 and year 2. But going forward, I think that's when Texas Tech will really begin to struggle, and the McGuire era will be over as quickly as it began. So guys, as always, thank you so much for watching us here at the Gridiron Expert on YouTube. Make sure to continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos. Again, those things that take you just a few seconds help us build our channel tremendously. Help us out so much. So please become part of our Gridiron Expert team. Help us out with that so we can bring you content year-round. Promise you do not want to miss any of that. And once again, guys, as always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time right here on the Gridiron Expert.